this nurse with an open wound, she's more likely to bite it than to kiss it. Despite their lax look, nurse sharks are active foragers. They forage for all sorts of fish, clams, and crabs. They oftentimes generate enough pressure to suck the conch out of its shell. To produce such a great force, nurse sharks have small, spiked teeth, much like a pair of soccer boots. Notice its long caudal
Thanks for watching.
tail,
Please
as well as
subscribe and
its
share.
barely
It
visible
also helps
lateral
support my
line,
channel at PayPal.
where we see the dorsal fin far back on the fusiform body. At the head, we see the barbel, the signature look of the nurse shark, as well as the gills flapping. This is because sharks have spiracles. They act like a fan of an aircraft engine, sucking air into the gills so that the shark may breathe. Notice they rise and fall just as a man's chest will rise and fall when he is breathing. These spiracles allow the shark to sit perfectly still in a reef or on the ocean bed all day long so that they may hunt at night, and not be seen by more ferocious predators, such as a tiger shark. So the picture we have right here is of one of the sandbar sharks at this aquarium. As you can see, it's very long. It looks like a downsized great white, or more like a downsized tiger shark. You see that big old topsail. Really cool looking, really just elegant, amazing looking animal. Their teeth are serrated, and it's just a wonderful piece of, natural design, as I like to say. Just a real beautiful creature. And you can almost see there's a slight curve, like a knife point on the on its teeth. So, yeah, what an amazing creature. These creatures have been known to exhibit both biennial and triennial reproductive cycles and ovulate every summer. So what biennial and triennial are is it takes 2 whole years for it to gestate. What does this mean in evolutionary forms? Well, it means they're putting a lot of stock in their kids. You'll see this with a lot of cold weather mammals, is they only raise 1 or 2, but they put all their effort into those kids, versus the like fish or bony fish, spreading their seeds all over the water like dust in the wind. It's really very interesting the strategies have come about with animals and just the fight for survival. It's something that is still affecting them today and will affect them much farther into the future. For the sandbar shark, sexual maturity is reached at the age of 13, but they grow for females to about 6.5 feet to 8 feet, and males grow up to about 6 feet. We're seeing a lot with do have the sexual dimorphism. The females are bigger though. It's not like the pinniped, because evolution. The sandbar shark is currently endangered, according to the IUCN 3.1. The sandbar shark are in order Carcharhiniformes and in family Carcharhinidae, also known as requiem sharks. These coastal predators are native to the Atlantic and Indo-Pacific Oceans. However, they range all the way up from New England all the way down to Brazil. How to spot this wonderful creature is its massive dorsal fin. It's almost like a sailing ship's sail. Sandbar sharks are viviparous. The embryos are supported in a placental yolk sac inside the mother. This is what we mean when we say viviparous during the rest of this presentation. The Caribbean sharp-nosed shark is a requiem shark, scientifically known as Rhizopterodon procis, is found only in tropical waters, ranging from the south of Florida to Central America. This reef-dwelling pirate of the Caribbean on average grows to 2.5 feet and feeds on small telosis fishes and sometimes squid, crab, and prawns. East Pacific swell shark, scientifically named Cephalocelium ventriosum. They like to hunt at night, at the depths of 5 to 40 meters, hunting for mollusks, fish, and crustaceans in rock crevices, growing on average to the length of 3 feet. Their name comes from the ability to swell their body twice the original size. During an attack by a larger predator, They will bite their tail and swell, using water or air to swell up their bodies. They are oviparous, laying 3 egg cases at a time. These hatch almost a year after birth. They range from California to southern Mexico, with small population pockets in Chile. The scalloped hammerhead shark, scientifically known as Cyphrina lewini, are named for their most distinctive feature, the hammerhead. With its eyes on the face of its hammer, it doesn't use it much as a real hammer. In fact, they ought to protect their brains because they are relatively large for their weight. Both the smooth and scalloped hammerhead have the largest levels of cerebral foliation and may be linked to increased social intelligence, complex sensory integration, habitat complexity, long-distance migration, and agile prey capture. According to Evolved for Extinction, the cost and conservation implications of specialization in hammerhead sharks. According to the IUCN 3.1, the scalloped hammerhead is critically endangered due to overfishing as well as hunting of the shark by other sharks. Their range is generally from 46 degrees north to 36 degrees south, at the depth of 500 meters. They sit in the current, letting it take the school wherever it pleases. These sharks grow to about 5.5 feet on average. The leopard shark, Triachus seminifericiata, is easy to spot. With his large leopard spots, on average they will grow to over 4.5 feet. These sharks oftentimes can be found in bays and estuaries as groups. Hunting near kelp beds and reefs means they are coastal sharks. They eat crustaceans, bony fish, and worms. They are a combination of viviparous and oviparous, called aplicitae viparous. They range from the Washington Oregon border down around Baja California. These sharks prefer to live at the depths of 20 feet, otherwise called 6 meters, but some have been seen as far down as 300. Given the low oxygen levels of their chosen habitat, that being estuaries, leopard sharks have smaller red blood cells, which is believed to allow them to absorb more oxygen and in effect outperform their competition. Carcharhinus melanopterus are identified by their characteristic black-tip fins. That's why they're called black-tip shark, and as of yet, the largest covered, at 6 feet long. At this size, their biggest threat is being caught in trawlers' nets. The black-tip reef shark prefers shallow, inshore waters, but has been known to range out to open waters, but this is for migrational purposes. Its range is from southern Japan to the port of Makuri, South Brisbane in Australia, from Madagascar up to the southern coast of Turkey, as well as the scattered islands in the Pacific and the Indian Ocean and the coastal regions therein. The primary feed of this shark is reef fish, and only rarely does it divert from that. With a relatively small range, the lemon shark, otherwise known by its scientific name of Negaprion brevirartis, is listed as vulnerable on the endangered species spectrum. These predators prefer warm, shallow waters, and this shark does range over, during migrational periods, open water. Its largest range goes from New England down to the coast of Brazil and into Argentina, from Baja California to Colombia, and from South Morocco to North Angola, but they prefer to range from 35 degrees north to 15 degrees south. These sharks grow to around 9 feet long. They have 2 dorsal fins, about the same size as each other. They eat primarily fish, but can eat crustaceans and other bottom dwellers. They are gray over the top of their body and white on the underside. They travel and feed in packs. This has led to speculation that they can learn from social interactions. This speculation came about because their brain and body mass compared to one another are about the same as most mammals and birds. Carcharius taurus otherwise known by its common name of sand tiger shark, is currently critically endangered. They are identified by their pointed head and swimming with an open mouth. The teeth are long and thin, with two small tooth spikes on either side of the mane, like an ornamental dagger. They have a small dorsal fin just back of the halfway point on the body, much like a nurse shark. So much so that these are sometimes called gray nurse shark. They range on 6 continents, but only in the coastal areas. They live at deeper depths of 600 feet. They migrate annually up and down the coasts of Australia and South Africa for 620 miles. That's not the round trip. The gestation period is 8 to 12 months. While in the womb, an embryo will feed on its brothers and sisters as it grows. This is called a diphoriography. They birth at 1 meter long and birth every 2 to 3 years. Sand tiger sharks feed exclusively at the bottom of the sea, feeding on smaller sharks, smaller fish, and benthic rays and sharks. The great hammerhead shark, our first massive shark of the list and the largest of its species. The great hammerhead shark, Saphrina mocarin, has been known to grow up to 20 feet in length and weigh 990 pounds. However, on average, they grow up to 13 feet and weigh 500 pounds. While the typical dive is only 80 meters, they have been known to go as low as 300 meters, ranging from 40 degrees north to 37 degrees south. They stick to tropical waters and prefer coral reefs, likely because of the fish life. Although they have been seen in inshore areas with less than 1 foot of water. They have been known to migrate off the coast of Florida up to New England. They actually feed on invertebrates, bony fish, and smaller sharks. The great hammerhead shark is currently critically endangered. The tiger shark, Gelasierido convera. This awesome predator is one of the most feared sharks in the world. This shark is easy to spot with its tiger stripes on the side of its body. This may be a form of camouflage, seeing that the tiger shark hunts coastal areas during the night and moves to open waters during the day, generally. The striped sides make it harder for prey to see them in the dark. Mature males are smaller than mature females by about 3 feet, with an average length of 10 to 14 feet and a weight of 850 to 1,400 pounds. Some reports say that females can grow up to 18 feet long and weigh nearly 1 3/4 tons. To feed their massive size, they eat anything. They eat anything smaller than them, such as turtles, schooling fish, seals, and, as a group, a sick whale. It is the last of its genus, Gelasierido. So are we the last of our own genus. This we share with. But what I find interesting in this species is its teeth. The teeth of the tiger shark are broad and curved, unlike the shark teeth before it, except for the sand tiger shark, of course. It has a double edge. But what effect does this have on the prey? The answer? A devastating effect. A curved blade will cut flesh much better than a straight blade, which the tiger shark, with its thrashing mouth, turns prey into mincemeat. It will use its ampulla of Lorenzini to spot electric fields of its prey during the winter, and nomadically wanders the currents after the spring mating in the northern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere, it would be the fall mating period. Females will only mate every 3 years and have a gestation period of 16 months. From 100 embryos come 30 live birthed juveniles, 30 inches in length. They are expected to live about 15 years, although they are capable of living beyond 30. Here we see the Cortez angelfish, one of the fish that were on display at the aquarium, as well as a wall with painted on a whole bunch of different sharks, including the megalodon. Here are permit fish, common in the Pacific Ocean for fishing. And here is a signboard that shows all the different types of animals. And here's a little tidbit on shark anatomy. Here we see the number of different jaws, because as you know, sharks, the only part of their body that is bony is the jaw, for obvious reasons. And we have all the different types of sharks that they had at the museum. From left to right, from left we have the California horn shark, the Caribbean sharp-nosed shark, East Pacific swell shark, leopard shark, and scalloped hammerhead, all on one. We have the larger sharks. From left to right, it is the lemon shark, great hammerhead, and tiger shark, as I just spoke about. And here we have, from left to right, the nurse shark, black-tip shark, sandbar shark, and sand tiger shark. Notice how much larger the sand tiger shark is than his compatriots, and how that nurse shark has that, like, jaw to crush things, just like a stingray. And here we have the belle of the ball, the great white shark jaw set, as well as megalodon teeth. And everybody's presuming that the megalodon was super massive, which, just by its teeth, yes, it most likely was. It's a massive individual. Great white shark is the widest ranging shark that spans all the open ocean, all the coastlines, unlike most of these sharks where they are quarantined to their little reef structures. This one is wide ranging and goes all over the world. It really is a wonderful thing of creation. And this is the range of many of the sharks. Here we have some of the basic functions of sharks, interesting features, the shark pupil, the eyes, the skeleton, as it's not actually made of bone, it's cartilage, the gills, as mentioned with the nurse shark, the shark buoyancy, that oil-filled liver that was spoken about, the shark scales, how they're more like teeth than actual skin. This is the Atlantic spadefish, nice and gray, blends in with the sand. Some more words on poster boards about anatomy and conservation and wildlife. Here is one of those manta rays that is so well liked, and these are all the different types of sharks that they had hanging up there. Beautiful creatures. And here's a cat I saw. Beautiful animal.
25 to 30 years old. Coming in at 35 years old is Merlin, the leader of our pod. His energy is inspiring, and he brings joy to everyone who works with him. Last but not least, we'd like to introduce you to Liberty, who was the first dolphin born here at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom 31 years ago. He got his patriotic name because he was born on the 4th of July. For some fantastic fun. Now we'd like to introduce you to the newest member of our pod. Put your hands together for Jonah.
Jonah and the whale.
And I'd like to introduce you to animal care specialist Hannah.
Hello! Welcome to Dolphin Harbor. Today you need to meet my good friend Merlin. So, what we have to do first is say hello. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick both arms out, wiggle back and forth, and he's going to wave right back. Awesome job, Merlin. Alright, now that we've got our introductions out of the way, you're going to get to see what Merlin feels like. So I'm going to have him present his tail fluke. And then you can give him a nice rub. Go ahead. What do you think he feels like? Kind of soft? Alright, here at Dolphin Harbor, we like to say our dolphins feel like a wet rubber inner tube or even a hot dog. Kind of silly, right? Alright, do you think that Merlin here is a pretty good dancer? Yeah? Alright, let's find out. Merlin likes to do what we call the strut. So you're just going to move side to side going like this, okay? And go. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Go Merlin, go Merlin. Awesome job, bud. Alright, now not only can he dance, but he can also sing, and he's a very loud singer. So what we're going to do is we're going to take two hands like this, and then wiggle your fingers. Awesome job, Merlin. Such a loud singer. Alright, now not only can Merlin sing and dance, but he can do them at the same time. So we're going to do the chicken dance. So you know how to do the chicken dance? Just flap your wings like a chicken? Amazing. Okay, so we're going to do the chicken dance. And go. Oh yeah, go Merlin. Awesome job. Let's give him a big round of applause. Alright, now because he did such a good job, we're going to give him a fish. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this fish, and before you give it to him, go ahead and wipe all that slimy stuff off. Perfect. And then just toss it right in his mouth. Awesome job. Alright, now unfortunately it is time to say goodbye to Merlin, but he has a pretty great way of doing it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one fist out like this, drop it to the ground, and Merlin's going to wave goodbye. Bye, Merlin. Awesome job. Alright, now before you go, we have a little bit of a problem. Go ahead and smell your hands for me. They smell a little fishy. I can smell them from here. Alright, I'm going to show you and everybody else the special animal care specialist trick to get rid of that smell. So what we're going to do is we're going to take both hands, tap them together, rub them together, a little bit faster, even faster, and then wipe in a cool sweatshirt. Now he's going to smell like fish for the rest of the day. Let's give our volunteer a big round of applause.
Keep it going for Jonah, everyone. Our love for these animals translates into something not easily described in words. Sit back and witness the beauty of this relationship. One minus time. Make some noise for our incredible Bottom Dolphins! Thank you so much for joining us here as we cover our ocean friends. We hope you gained a greater appreciation. Now, if you'd like to see our animals up close here in months, because in just a moment we're going to open the lower section of our stadium. Just make your way to the gate at the bottom of the stairs on the left-hand side.
License for fish, card only, and please do make sure that you listen to the rules that the cashier tells you. Basically, to wash your hands and to throw the fish directly into the water. Do not throw it towards the rocks and do not dangle it.
Strange to say, but these are him. So when they came here, they're like, "Oh, sweet, I can get petted, and the humans feed me." That's why they're like really familiar. Yeah.
Now, I actually got to speak with 2 of the trainers, and they had some really interesting stuff to say about the dolphins. Now, as we heard in class, the dolphins have that hollow space in their chin that they can listen for sound better. And they're also very intelligent creatures. And so, how do we as humans train these dolphins to make them recognize patterns and do our bidding? So how they train these dolphins is it is on the dolphin to first exhibit behavior. They currently do not teach a dolphin to do actions. They reward current behavior. So if like they cannot train the dolphin to blow bubbles. It has to start out from the dolphin's initiative. Some dolphins can't do backflips. Some just can't do stunts. Um, as trainer Alex said, I may have a mean jump shot, but I also don't play basketball anymore. And that was himself relating to the dolphins. Of some of them just aren't built for this. Um, only one of them is a rescue, so one of them is a wild. And I asked, I had a silly question of, is there any cognitive difference between these dolphins that came from the wild? Maybe they're learning different skills. Maybe their brains work differently. You teach different people differently. You might teach dolphins differently. And he explained that, well, no, there's not really any cognitive difference. It's just they're training differently. So in the wild, they'd be training to hunt. Here, they're training to do backflips. Most of these dolphins are born in captivity. The one named Cupid was not born in captivity. The trainer Alex said he's seen naval training of dolphins, and he says they can train him to just amazing stuff, like solve puzzles underwater. And he thought it was really cool. He's pictured here, outstretching his hands to the dolphin. So it goes basic training of they teach him to do small tricks, they blow on their whistle, and that rewards the dolphin for that active. They get through mind, oh, they like it when I do this. I'm going to do this more often. And then they work on up to command tricks, in which the trainer will make a motion and the dolphin will act, and knowledge training, which is Can you go around the pool? Remember your skills. Remember your habit or routine, more like it. Very very cool stuff. I talked to a trainer, Tristan, that said they know what you know, or they know what you want them to do. It's that's how intelligent they are. Is that they are actively looking to please the trainer or work with the trainer, more like it. The two types of mammals in this exhibit are the harbor seal and the California sea lion. You'll see right here is the California sea lion. Very very fast, very agile. They can do tricks. They know when they get fed. Simple animal stuff. They're sleek. They're bigger. They're carnivores. Really cool creatures. And then we have the harbor seal. Harbor seals are one of the many aquatic mammals here at Discovery Kingdom. It's pretty easy to spot the harbor seal at the aquarium, usually because of its name placard nearby. But in the wild, it can be confusing because the harbor seal has many subspecies. Because the harbor seal has a few subspecies. Phoca vitulina melona, also a Ugave seal, because they live on the Ugave Peninsula of Canada, and Phoca vitulina, inhabiting Europe and Asia. The harbor seal will have a brown or gray coat over its back. There were fewer The harbor than seal will have a brown or 100,000 gray coat alligators over in its the back, entire state and of on its belly, Louisiana, white fur and were covered listed in the many Federal brown, Endangered black, and Species gray Act of spots. 1972. Today, thanks to a sustainable use program called Marsh to Market, there are over 1.5 million alligators in the state of Louisiana alone. Each summer, landowners collect wild alligator eggs and sell them to alligator farmers. The eggs are hatched, and when the young reach 4 feet, about 15% are released back into the wild. This percentage approximates the natural survival rate of alligators. Farmers raise the remaining alligators, selling the meat and the skins. With alligator eggs as a renewable resource, landowners are motivated to conserve swamp and wetland habitat. Alligators and other wetland species can survive and thrive in their natural environment. The alligator farmers contribute to the sustainable wild population.
Like honestly, I've joked with Dash about them all the time. They're really great stingrays. But honestly, the coolest thing about them is if you could go home just like knowing one thing is that these guys are flat sharks.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, so how do I? The abridged version, the short version, the TLDR. 450 million years ago. Pretty long time ago. Sharks are actually older than trees, but sharks have been around for 450 or so million years, almost 500 million years. And 150 million years afterwards, evolution kind of flattened them and was like, sick, it's a new animal, and became sharks, or stingrays, excuse me. So the disadvantage of being a flat shark is you are generally tinier and you are seen as a snack to other bigger animals, like bigger sharks. The advantage is, now you can bury yourself under sand, so that's what we usually do. Now, the common misconception is, they're gonna Steve Irwin me to death, I'm gonna get stabbed. First of all, these guys are really friendly and wholesome. Second, you trim their barbs every couple of weeks because their barbs are keratin. And third, in Australia's history, there's only ever been 2 people that have, like, or at least in Australia's written history, only 2 people have ever cooked to stingrays. Now, so yeah, I'm a criminology major coming out, but I love statistics, okay? And there's like 9 people that die in the U.S. alone to falling vending machines because, they put in the money, their food doesn't come out of the drink, they shake it, falls on them, and here. It's like a couple hundred pounds of, just squishes you. More likely to croak from a vending machine than you are a stingray. That's what when she comes out. Yeah, it's a guarantee. And Like look, like I said, they trim their barbs, so that the chances of you getting barbed is 0. If you get barbed, it's all placebo. Yeah, just no eyes or tail.
And the American alligator is no longer an endangered species. One regret is I wish I could do a marine biology class and talk about the biology of plants at Discovery Kingdom. Unfortunately, I am out of time. Good night. Okay, well, I hope you liked the video. I hope I made you laugh. I hope I gave you some real keen pointers on biology. There's a lot of I wish I could have done with this if I got off my rear end and stuck to it a little bit better. I know it's supposed to be a hard assignment. I picked it because I didn't have any time. I had money. This trip costs about $100 to do, but I thought it was well worth it. I loved it. I really wish I could have done more with the mammals, but that's just not the parameters of this class. I really enjoyed looking at all the dolphins and seeing them do the tricks and hearing about the military training and doing all this research on sharks. Most of this video is about sharks, and I hope that interests you. I found it very cool, very interesting. Pinnipeds are cool. Mammals are cool. The whales, I know they used to have killer whales. They don't anymore. Or orcas, as they're now called. But yeah, this was a really nice trip. I really wish I would have applied myself more, like I usually regret. But lovely trip, and I definitely learned a lot. I really got to talk to a lot of trainers, and I made sure to ask every one of them what their favorite part of the park was, or what their favorite animal was, or why they started working here, because it's a pretty niche job to start working at an amusement park that specializes in mammals, or but animals, animalia. I learned from Jason, Jayson, neat name. His favorite shark was a short fin mako, short fin mako, and he told me that megalodons, pieces of the jaws were found at the bottom of the ocean. Really cool stuff. The back then the teeth were the only bone part. So way back when, they didn't even have bony jaws. Like that's how just ancient these. Like it's amazing that these things are before reptiles, and back in early creation, there wasn't fungus to destroy fallen trees when trees evolved, and so it's man, biology is just a whole step above. The natural sciences are really cool. But anyways, this guy's favorite shark was the shortfin Macau. And then I got in a nice conversation with the stingray and manta ray guy about he told me his story about basically his life, how his mom is a lesser is basically a royalty in the Philippines, and tried to train him up to be an actor, and he didn't want to do that. He wanted to be a doctor, and so he's doing a minor. He's studying law, but he's going to be a doctor. But he really likes law, and he also really likes nature. I asked him, and he wasn't a Boy Scout, but he knew that the Eagle Scout was a really good rank, and so I told him my story about Philmont, naturalism, and teaching kids how to better regard nature. And yeah, we got along, swimmingly. Swimmingly. But yeah, really great people who love their jobs. I talked to some gals at the on the lion side, and one of them, she was making sure she knew everything from her note card that she had with her. So yeah, she cared a lot about the animals, but she was probably new to the job. Said, "Oh, I'm gonna get this job, and I'm gonna love it." Anyways, yeah, I made sure to ask everybody what their favorite part of the park was, an animal. And because that's what I found interesting, is whatever I find interesting, I can teach better. And so that's what I want to know from these people. So yeah, it was a great trip, great extra credit assignment. Thank you, Professor. Hopefully I'll see you in the next semester or so.